Good afternoon and welcome to Sparkman Homestead. I am so excited today to be filming a pantry tour for you guys. I've wanted to do this for a while, but I've just been waiting until I've gotten the majority of my canning projects done. I still have a couple more that I have to tackle, but the majority of my stuff is done. You can see all of my shelves are looking pretty full, and that makes me so excited. I'm a gardener, and so when I'm gardening, I have so much produce that I can't eat all of it fresh. And one way that I'm able to preserve all of that summer goodness is by canning it so I can enjoy it all year round. So as I'm going through this pantry to show you guys this stuff, I am going to try to leave videos linked for you. The majority of this stuff in this pantry, in fact, I think almost all of it, I have made a video of. I have a video canning list on my YouTube channel. It's just in my playlist and it's called Canning. And that is where all of these videos are going to be linked for you. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to link the videos that I have had the most requests for, and I will leave them linked here in the corner. And if I can remember when I'm editing, I'm going to really try to do it. I'm going to link them down also in the video description for you guys. But if I don't get to link the video, because again, most of these are already linked in that canning playlist, just go to that playlist and they'll all be there for you and you can watch them. Just gonna say ahead of time, some of them are not the best videos, and I have been trying to redo some of them where the audio is just horrific. I've recently gotten microphones in the last, I think, year I've had these microphones, and it has changed the audio so much. So some of the videos are a little bit rough. The rough ones I'm trying to redo. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm so excited to share all of this stuff with you. I love talking about my pantry to people. Let's get started with the top shelf. I will try to get the camera close for some of the stuff, but it's easier for you to be able to see me plus the canning if I stand here and do this. Okay, so to start off, we have some October beans. So these are a bean that I actually purchased from my friend. She is a gardener in the town next to me, and she had these October beans, and I've never had them before, and I thought I'm gonna experiment and can them. She told me they're really amazing to make refried beans with. So I got a bushel from her and I canned up 2 pints. I've not experimented with them yet, but they look exactly like a pinto bean. So I'm excited to try them. The next thing is a zuppa toscana. I don't think I'm saying that right. We just call it an Olive Garden soup. It's one that has potatoes, sausage, kale in it. I actually need to get more of this can because I only have 3 quarts of this left, and we love this soup. So what I do in order to make this soup is I just take it, dump the contents into a big stock pot, and then I usually add about half of a jar of milk to it. I don't can my stuff with cream or milk. I just don't feel comfortable doing it. I have in the past, but I'm not super comfortable with doing it anymore. I've just done a little bit more research on it. So I can mine without it, and it's so easy just to add when you're making it. This is a wonderful soup to have in the winter. We love having some fresh sourdough bread with it. You can make breadsticks also. So good. So the next step we have, this is just kind of all of my beans. I am very much an OCD person. I like to have order, and I love to have similar stuff all together. So if I'm gonna do something that I know I need beans for, I know I'm gonna look on the top shelf, and that's where I'm gonna find them. I try to do that. It doesn't always work that way, but that is kind of how I try to keep my pantry organized. Up here we have beans. We have pinto beans. We have little white navy beans. I don't use those a lot. Then we have black beans, which you can see I only have 1 row of, and I use these so much. Black beans are our favorite thing to have, so I need to get some of these canned. And beans are so easy to can. I can beans simply for the convenience of it. I am the type of person that does not have enough forethought to get the beans out in the morning, boil them, soak them, do all of that stuff. I just take one day and can my beans, and then I just have canned beans. It is such a time saver to have those already done for me. So we have black beans, we have red kidney beans, we have cannelloni beans, And I think that's it for the beans up here. So I try to have a variety of beans. And then next beside that, we have some Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. I haven't been eating it a lot because I have found a new recipe that I like a little bit more than this. And then we have some vegetable soup. This is just kind of like a Campbell's vegetable soup. I also do not can with noodles. So when I'm going to make this, I just empty this into a stock pot and then I will put some little alphabet noodles with it and then boil it all together. And then I have delicious vegetable soup. You could also add like egg noodles in that as well. I just like the little alphabet stuff. It reminds me of the Campbell stuff. So then we have some cowboy candy. This is just like a candied jalapeno. There is a byproduct of this stuff that I love. So these are delicious, but when you're making it, you always get the brine left over. And I always save the leftover brine because this stuff is delicious to use in marinades. The one thing that I've started making with my leftover cowboy candy brine is barbecue sauce. This barbecue sauce is amazing. It is sweet and it has a little bit of kick because we use the jalapeno brine. It's just amazing. And I don't know why I can them in half pints. And then I did this stuff in pints because we use a lot of this stuff. In fact, it is on my list of stuff that I still have to get canned for this year. And then we only have a couple of these left, is some tomato soups. This is a concentrated version, so you do have to mix it with stuff. So same way with the Zumpa soup, I just take this, dump it, and then I add a full cup of milk. So I just fill this all with milk or cream or half and half, and then just dump it in there. You can use plant-based milk also if you don't drink dairy, but this stuff is really good. Any recipe that calls for the concentrated tomato soup, you can use this stuff in replacement. It's amazing. I think I only have, actually I have about 6 jars left, so that'll be good for the year. My tomatoes just did horrible this year. So I actually had to go to the Amish and get a discount box of tomatoes so that I could can some of my tomato products this year because I just didn't grow enough for me to be able to preserve all the tomato products that I use in a year. So the one thing we have beside the tomato soup is just some plain tomato sauce. This tomato sauce is just tomatoes. That is it. I don't add any salt, pepper, seasoning. I like to keep it just a very, very base so that when I'm going to make things like my pasta sauce or my barbecue sauce if I want to, enchilada sauce, anything, I have a clean slate to work with. So this is just simply tomatoes cooked down and pureed. So this is what I call my tomato sauce. And it is a little bit runny. I am trying to work on making it not so runny. The newer ones that I made this year, like that one I think is actually from last year, but the newer ones I made this year, you can see it's a little bit more thicker. I do like my tomato sauce to be somewhat thick. So all of these are all diced chilies. My poblano pepper plant and my Anaheim plant were crazy this year. And so I was able to can up all of my diced green chilies. We love having these on tacos or in chili or just add flavor to anything. So these are my mild ones. So the mild ones I use an Anaheim pepper to do. I did a little bit of research a couple years ago to find out what peppers were used in the canned diced green chilies. And they said that Anaheims were used for the mild ones, and then there's a couple of different ones that you can use to do your hot ones, but my poblano peppers were fire. Like they were so hot, so I used poblano peppers to do my hot diced. And these things, no joke, they are very, very hot. There's no happy medium. You either want no spice or you are just going to just get all the spice. So that's what all of those are. We have some bruschetta. I actually canned this a couple years ago and I've not been using it as much as I would like to. This winter, and especially the pantry challenge, I'm really going to focus on getting this stuff used. One way I use this, other than just the standard, you know, putting it on a baguette and having a bruschetta, I put this on grilled cheese and it is so good. But we just haven't been gravitating towards it. So I have pint size and I have half pints. So we need to get that used. And then all of this right here, this is all pizza sauce. And I made this a couple years ago, and you can see we obviously don't eat a lot of pizza, but we're gonna start eating pizza because I need to get that eaten through. So I've got 4 rows of pizza sauce. And then this one is a really, really, really fun one. This is a sweet and sour sauce. This stuff is so delicious. It has pineapples in it, peppers, tomatoes, and it is amazing with chicken or pork. It is such an easy meal to prepare one night, especially if you already have your meat thawed out. All I do is I dice up some chicken, fry the chicken up, then dump this in. You could even use canned chicken. Just warm the canned chicken up and then dump this sauce on. It is really, really, really thick, so I do usually end up adding a little bit of water to it just to kind of thin it out a little bit and make it go a little bit further. But highly, highly, highly recommend this stuff. It is so, so good. Then we have some green enchilada sauce. It looks nasty, but it is really, really good. And I used tomatillos to make this last year. I didn't get any tomatillos this year, so I didn't can it, but we also don't eat it a lot. We prefer the red sauce over the green stuff. So I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only have 5 jars of this, and that'll be fine for this year. I wasn't too concerned about getting that on my pantry. And then all of these right here are all some diced tomatoes. So this is just a peeled tomato that I just put in water and no seasonings again, no salt, no pepper, no Italian seasonings. It's just tomatoes and water. And again, I love to do this because it gives me a base if I need it for anything else. One thing, and you'll see down when I get to it, because I had that bad tomato year, I did not get a lot of salsa on the shelf. We eat through it very quickly, and that is not going to be enough for the year. So one thing that I can do is I can take my canned diced tomatoes and I can take frozen jalapenos, cilantro, everything that I put in it normally, and I can just whip up a quick batch of salsa. I don't necessarily need to have a fresh tomato to do it because these really taste fresh. I mean, they're canned, but they still taste way better than a grocery store tomato that you're gonna get. And then we have some regular red enchilada sauce. This is the stuff we love. And so I have a couple rows of that because we do have that quite a bit. And then the last thing on this row that I really need to use, and I'm thinking about actually repurposing it into something else, is just some plain tomato juice. So this is just tomato juice, no seasonings. Steven is a fan of Bloody Marys. So I am thinking about taking some of this tomato sauce and potentially recanning it into a Bloody Mary mix. Quite a bit of my canning books have the mix in it. So I'm really considering reusing some of these. And it is perfectly safe to reuse canned stuff to recan it. So I'm gonna use this tomato sauce to make a Bloody Mary mix, which I'm gonna recan. It doesn't affect the quality of it. It's just like you're using a canned tomato juice from the grocery store. You're effectively recanning that tomato juice anyways. So it's perfectly safe to do that. And then over here, I store all of the onions that we grew this year. Now these are some red onions, and look at, they're starting to sprout. I really need to get these preserved somehow. I think I'm probably just gonna put them into the freezer. This one's doing it too down here. It seems like it's just my red onions that are doing it though. You'll have to excuse the bad lighting in here because we are on day 5 of no sun. It is so cold and rainy out. And when I say cold, I'm meaning cold, like southern cold, like not northern cold. It's cold for us. But we just haven't had any sun in the last 5 days. So also, I don't know if you can hear him, the rooster. Our surprise chick from McMurray, a rooster. I'm not that farm girl that appreciates the rooster's crow. I hate it. We have gone so many years without a rooster. Our flock is actually pretty old right now, and so we're losing a lot of birds just because they're older. So I actually need a rooster because we have an incubator, so I'm hoping to be able to hatch a new flock of chickens for next year because I'm down to, I think, only like 7 chickens, and when I started I had about 20 something. So nature is pruning my flock, but I need to get it back up. We call him Chicken Little because when we got him, we didn't know what he was. It was a surprise chick that came with our meat birds, and we had no idea what he is, but now I know what he is. He is a Sicilian buttercup. It wasn't until he was fully grown that I knew what kind of breed he was. I just had to do a lot of research with it. But anyways, his name is Chicken Little because he was always with the meat birds who were ginormous compared to him. And when the meat birds were processed, we moved him with the turkeys. So he was obviously a little chick with the turkeys. So his name is Chicken Little. He is not little anymore, and he is very, very annoying, but we're gonna keep him because we want baby chicks. Back to the pantry tour. So I was apologizing for the lighting. That's how we squirreled to that. So next on the pantry is Rotel. I canned this 2 years ago and we don't use it. We really don't use it. I think that I did not make it spicy enough, and you can see it's super, super runny. This we have 5 jars of. This is on the to get used list because I am not a fan of zero waste. I will not waste this. That is going to get used during the pantry challenge for sure. Then we have banana peppers. These are just a pickled banana pepper. Amazing, amazing on sandwiches. And then we have some pickled jalapenos. These are spicy, but I find that when you pickle them, it actually takes the spice down just a little bit. It's not so like in your face hot. And I grow all different colors of jalapenos, so that's why you see different colors in there. And then we have some carrots. Gotta move them up because I don't like them being like that. I actually need to get some more of these canned. We are getting a little bit low on. I have some in my garden, but they won't be ready for a little bit. We'll wait to can those. And then next we have just plain corn. This is just a sweet corn that I canned. And then we have a lot of green beans. I'm gonna address this before I get any comments because I'm sure I will get comments. I have my stuff double stacked. I try not to do it, but sometimes I just don't have enough space and I have to double stack. So based on my research that I have done, it is perfectly safe to double stack provided that you have a thick layer of cardboard in between the jars. So I put a piece of cardboard in here. It's not just a little flimsy cardboard. It's just a nice thick piece. And that is what I put in between the jars. I will not take a jar and just do that with it. That, from my research, that is not safe to do. But it is considered safe from my research if you have a piece of cardboard in between. So I guess I'll address the other question that I get quite a bit of is why don't you have your rings on your jars? I have answered this question in numerous amounts of my videos, but because I'm doing a pantry tour, I might as well address it here again. I don't keep my rings on my jars because the only reason that that ring is necessary is to keep this lid intact during the canning process. If your jar is safely canned, you do not need to have that ring in place to hold this lid down. The canning process has already done that. Like, you don't need it at all. In fact, I have heard that if you keep those rings on, it can create a false seal, and you don't want that. I am in my pantry quite a bit. This is my grocery store. This is where I come to get my food when I make my meals every single day. I work from home, so I'm eating 3 meals at home every single day. So I'm utilizing this pantry a lot. And so when I'm back here, I'm always checking my seals to make sure that they're good and sealed still. Now, the same can be said about the double stacking, that it will create a false seal because the pressure down on it. But again, my research has said that this acts as a buffer and it doesn't apply an unnecessary amount of pressure to create a false seal. Just gonna address those now before I get those questions. And if you do have that question in the comments, I'm gonna direct you to this part of the video where I explain it. And then next up we have potatoes. These are so amazing to have. I know that potatoes store for a really long time. Not where I live. I don't have a cold cellar. I don't have a basement. They sprout very, very quickly here. So one thing I like to do is can them. I usually rinse my potatoes to get some of this starch off of them when I am going to use them. I've not mastered using these in mashed potatoes yet. I have seen videos of people able to use canned potatoes to make mashed potatoes, but mine just don't turn out. They turn out like glue. It's It's really weird. I don't know why. I have to keep working on it to see if I can master it. But I do love these for like fried potatoes, roasted potatoes, to throw this in a quick soup. These are amazing to have on hand. And then next on the shelf, we have salsa. So this, as I was explaining earlier, you can see this row doesn't go all the way back. This is not going to be enough for the year. We have them in quart size, like when we're entertaining people. This jar is good, but when it's usually just us, that pint works amazing. And then we have, what is this? This is actually a new experiment that I'm doing. With my diced green chilies, I just cut these up into really, really small dices, and that's hence the word diced green chilies. But my all-time favorite Mexican dish is chili Renalo. I'm not saying it right. And when I order it from the restaurant, I usually just point to it because I cannot pronounce it. And I sound like a fool when I try to pronounce it. Anyways, my favorite Mexican dish is chili Renaro. And I don't have enough freezer space to keep my peppers in, so I have to can a majority of my vegetables. One of my friends on here suggested that I make a chili Renaro casserole. So I did some research and it calls for canned poblano peppers. So I thought, I'm just gonna can these like I do my diced green chilies, but I'm just gonna keep them whole. So I took the seeds out and I took the skins off, but I just canned them pretty much whole so that when I want to make that casserole, I have them already done. I have 3 jars of those. Each jar probably has about 10 peppers in it, so you can fit a lot into one jar. I will only need probably 1 jar to do a recipe. They are very, very, very spicy, so I probably would only honestly want 1 jar. Right, we're gonna move to the bottom shelf, and the lighting is going to be horrible down here. So this is the shelf where I keep all of my broths, with the exception of one thing because it didn't fit up with my tomato products. I'm a broken record here when I say this, but because we raise our own poultry, I have a lot of bones left over, and I am, again, not a fan of food waste, so I save all of them and I make broths with them. Broth is perfectly safe to can. There are directions for it in the Ball Blue Book, and it is amazing to have on your shelf. I consider this stuff a bone broth, but a lot of people will call it like a stock because when I make it, I put vegetables in it. And I believe when you make a bone broth, you just use just bones. You don't put any vegetables in it. So I guess these are technically like a stock. So first up, I have a veggie stock, which is just all vegetables boiled down, and then I strain it, and then I have a beautiful broth, a veggie broth. And then next we have chicken. Depending on what I'm putting in the broth mixture, you can see the difference of color. All of these are all chicken. So it's just a wide variety of different broths because I've had different vegetables available. Whenever I'm peeling a carrot or making something with an onion, I always save all of my veggie scraps, and that is what I use to make my broth with. I just use the frozen veggies, the bones, a couple of other seasonings, and that makes a delicious broth. And it's so cheap because like you would throw that stuff out anyways. So this is technically, it's free. Like, I mean, yes, I have to pay for the jars, but I already had them. I tend to stock up on jars if I can find them at like estate sales or garage sales. You can usually get pretty good deals. I hit a gold mine at this estate sale. She was a canner and she had an attic full of canning jars. So I bought as much as I could possibly take home. It filled my whole dining room table with them. I had to scrub them clean because they were sitting in an attic for years, but they were all perfectly safe. Some of them were even brand new in the box, like she hadn't even opened them. So yeah, that's one way to save money on your jars because I know they are very, very, very expensive to buy at the store brand new. And I usually only do that if I have no other options. Like I need them that day, that I'll go and buy them at the store, but they're super expensive to get. So if you are just starting out with canning, that is one great way to save money is auctions, garage sales, yard sales, and estate sales. Even some thrift stores have them for cheap. I find that my thrift stores in my area mark the jars up. Like I have been to a lot of them where they're charging like $2.50 to $3 a jar. And for me, I'm not paying that per jar, and they don't even come with a lid. We have just regular turkey stock. And then this stuff right here is a smoked turkey broth. So what I did was I took some bones, put them in the smoker, and I smoked them, and they got a nice smoky taste to them. And then I made a broth with them, and it's so good. so amazing. To make like a turkey noodle soup with that, it's just levels the soup up. It's great. And then we have just regular beef broth here. I just made a whole bunch of them because I was doing a freezer clean out. So I just made a whole bunch of broth with that stuff. Over here is one of our most favorite things on our pantry shelf, and this is pasta sauce, or I like to call it pasta sauce. That's just where I grew up. We called it pasta, but I get corrected a lot. Where I live, it's pasta. So this is our pasta sauce. And this is not going to be enough for the year, so I'm going to have to use some tomato sauce and make another batch of it because we have it at least once a week. So we need to get some more canned and put on here. So the bottom part of my pantry is where I keep all of my wheat berries. So this is a hard wheat berry, and so I just keep them in these 5-gallon buckets, and it's just all... lighting's not good, but that's all my wheat berries. Okay, just did my first battery change of the pantry tour. I wonder how many batteries we're gonna go through. So I'm gonna try to not talk super fast, but try to get through this quickly. So again, this is just where I keep my wheat. So I have soft wheat, hard wheat, I have rye, I have spelt, I have kamut, and then I also keep my sugar in here. I keep rice in here. That's just some more wheat berries. And then I also have some just plain all-purpose flour in here. I don't use it very much, but I just keep it stocked up in case. And then this shelf is just grocery store items that I like to keep stocked up on. So I get a lot of my stuff from Azure, and I like to buy it while it's on sale, and I like to buy it in bulk. So those tomato juices, that's Stephen and my son's favorite, so I like to have those on hand. And then I like to also keep a grape juice stocked up. And the grape juice that I like to have on hand is just a plain 100% grape juice, and I keep it on hand for medicinal purposes. Grape juice is amazing. If you have an upset stomach, I remember when I was pregnant with my son, the only thing that I could keep down was grape juice. It actually helped my nausea. So I always keep grape juice on hand just in case I have an upset tummy and I can't keep food down. I know for sure grape juice I'll be able to keep down. And then we just have some lemon juice and lime juice, and these are just Steven's snacks. He likes those. And then I like to keep canned mushrooms on hand, and then a little thing of tomato paste. That one I just picked up at Costco. Actually, both of these I picked up at Costco. They have pretty good priced organic mushrooms. And then we have some honey. I have 2-gallon things of honey. These were a really good price on Azure, so I tried to stock up. I use honey more than I use sugar, so this I go through quite a bit. Same with maple syrup. I have that available. In fact, I need to get a couple more jars because I like to usually have 2 rows of 4, so I'm going to get some more of those. And again, I'm so sorry about the lighting. And then I like to have this mayo on hand. I know that it is super easy for me to make my own mayo, especially being that I have chickens. Convenience. I like to have convenient stuff around because sometimes I just don't have time to make mayonnaise. If I need to make it, I know the skill, I have it, I have things available to make it, but for now, we're gonna buy it because we like that convenience. And then I like to keep coconut oil on stock. Just we've got 1 sesame oil. I don't use a lot of it, but I like to have it on hand. And then we have our oils, which we use is avocado and olive oil. So I keep those pretty stocked up. And then we have a Worcestershire sauce back there. And then this shelf right here is all my vinegars. We just have white vinegar, red wine vinegar, white wine vinegar, balsamic, and rice vinegar. And then this bottom shelf is just some dried beans and more apple juice and more of Steven's snacks for his lunch. I have some pinto beans over here. This is some more kamut, hard wheat berries. I have some raw sugar, and then I think those are black beans, and then kidney beans. Okay, let's do this shelf really quickly because it's a small one before we get to our other big one. I had to buy this little cabinet because I ran out of pantry space. So I just use these top shelves to kind of store my overage. So I have some pears here. And then I think these are all juices. Yeah, so this is raspberry lemonade concentrate. Amazing. And then this one is grape juice from grapes that we grew. This is the first year we were able to can our own grape juice, and I'm so excited about it. These things are amazing, and I'm trying to just not eat through them very quickly. I made them 2 years ago, and I've just been savoring them. These are peaches with sweet tea. Peaches infused with sweet tea, and oh my goodness, these are amazing. Then we have some pumpkin. This is actually from a couple years ago, so I do need to get that used. And then we have some more concentrate. This one is a strawberry lemonade concentrate. And then this one is, oh, these are actually all strawberry lemon concentrates. And then this one is a blackberry lemonade concentrate. We're actually going to put away our apple butter that we did last week. I think I'm going to use this spot because it is the only spot I have open. So we're going to get our apple butter put in there. This is the problem that I usually face at the end of preserving season is I run out of space in my pantry. Okay, so we got it kind of in there. It doesn't look pretty, but it's in there. So we're going to start with the top shelf, which is where usually I would put my apple butter, but I have been on a jam canning marathon lately. Usually I don't eat it a lot, but I'm just loving it lately. It is probably the easiest item to can, and if you are just getting started to canning, I would highly recommend doing jam because it is so easy to do. We're gonna start over here. We have a grape jelly, then we have what is this one? This is the stuff I made with you guys a couple weeks ago. This is the cranberry raspberry apple jam. It's really good. One jar didn't seal, so I ate that last week. It was so amazing. And then we have some plum jam. I think I have 2 rows of plum jam. And then we have strawberry honey jam, and then dandelion jelly. I really wanted to love it. I really wanted to love it, but I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. And then we have mulberry jelly, and then we have raspberry strawberry jam, and then blackberry jam. This one is another one that I actually want to use frozen blueberries to make because I think I only have 2 jars left. This is a maple blueberry jam, and it is, I know I keep saying it's amazing, but this stuff is really good. Then we have a peach raspberry jelly, cherry lime jam, our cranberry sauce that we made. So I have 2 rows of that cranberry sauce up here, and that will last me for at least a couple of years because we don't eat it a lot. And then I have 1 jar of this left, and I am saving it for the holidays. It is a cranberry jalapeno jam. And then I have all of my cranberry juices here. And then when I want to use it, I just strain out these cranberries. I do like to save the cranberries and make like muffins with them usually. You can get another use out of them. And then this one is a hot peach salsa. And then we have some dilly beans or pickled green beans. Steven doesn't really like green beans, but he will eat them if they're pickled. And then what is this? This is some chili. I made a really big batch of chili one day and had a whole bunch left over, so I just canned it. And so this is shelf-stable chili. These are pimento peppers that I can use to make a cheese pimento pepper. It's a thing in the South, and it's delicious. And then these are canned beef. So these are really good to make a quick meal with. You can just fry them up quickly. Really good to have on hand. So then we have some maraschino cherries here. These are amazing, and I'll probably use these a lot with the upcoming holidays. And then we have our maple onion jam, which is also delicious. And then we have marinated peppers. These guys here, I haven't really used these a lot, but we have 3 little pints, so I might use them on some sandwiches. Pickled beets. I love beets. And then this is my simple syrup that I make. On Wednesday's bonus video, I did mention that when making a simple syrup, you're just going to do 1 part juice to 1 part sugar. So I always use the scraps, and I make simple syrups with them. So this is a peach simple syrup. This is a lemon simple syrup, and this is a pineapple simple syrup. So I've just used these scraps from whatever recipe I was making, so the pineapple cores, and I made this simple syrup with it. Oh, I do have a couple more different kinds of simple syrup, but they're on other shelves. And then we have teriyaki sauce, which I actually have to make more of. because we only have 2 in here, and this stuff's really, really good. I gave a whole bunch to my son, so that's why we don't have very many on here. And then these are some pickled radishes, and then these are some pickled garlic scapes. And then down here we have some unsweetened applesauce. This stuff is good to use as like an egg replacement in recipes. I mean, you can eat it just plain, but if you don't have eggs available, it's really good to have an unsweetened applesauce on hand because you can use that. And then this is another simple syrup. This was a strawberry top simple syrup. So I just took all of the strawberry tops after I made jam, and I made a simple syrup with them. These are just plain cherries in a light syrup. I love cherries in my fruit salad in the winter, so I like to keep a lot of those. And then we have some pineapple juice. I can pineapple when it's on sale, so this is all my pineapple down here. And then one byproduct when you are canning it, because of the way that I can it, you have all of this water left over, but it's not really water, it's like infused with pineapple. So if I have a sore throat, I will heat some of this up and drink it, and it is amazing for soothing sore throats. Pineapple is excellent, excellent medicinal thing for any type of throat issue. It works amazing for that. So I just save the water that I make the pineapple in. So that is what that is. I just call it a pineapple juice. It's just essentially water infused with pineapple. And then we have some apple simple syrup here, which I made with apple cores and scraps. And then down here we have some peaches, and then we have the apple butter that we just put in here, and then we have corn syrup right here, my own homemade corn syrup, which works amazing in like a pecan pie. I just use it any way I would use a corn syrup. Apple pie filling, amazing. I actually use this apple pie filling to make like apple crisps with. I'll dump it into a casserole dish. I'll put a topping of some butter, flour, brown sugar, and maybe some oatmeal, and just sprinkle it on top of this, and then bake it for 45 minutes in a 375-degree oven. And it's amazing. It's kind of like an apple pie without the crust. We're both not really fans of pie crust, so that's how I kind of make my apple pie, but it's more like an apple crisp. And then we have some ginger honey pear sauce, maraschino cherry juice, not maraschino, maraschino. When you are making the maraschinos, you are left with juice, and I just can this. If you mix this with plain sparkling water, it tastes exactly like a Dr. Pepper. So I always keep these, and I have 4 left of those. And then this right here is some bread and butter pickles. And then we have some Asian, what is this? Asian sweet and sour sauce. Again, guys, I am sorry if I'm just whipping through this because battery power and this video is going to be really long. But I really want to show you everything because I love doing this. I have over here some sweet chili sauce. So this stuff was a little bit of a failure. It just tastes like ketchup. Like there's no really heat to it at all. So we just eat this as ketchup. I think I have I have 3 jars of this left, so I've just been using this as ketchup, and once that runs out, then we will start actually using our ketchup. Ketchup takes a lot of tomatoes to make, and last year I had an amazing tomato harvest, so I made about 2 years worth of ketchup, which I was very thankful I did because this year we did not have a good harvest. That is why when I have a bumper crop of something, I will can a lot of it because some years we just don't have good years, and now I have ketchup. We have some 3-bean salad. Haven't really eaten this a lot. I need to get eaten through this. It's not my favorite thing, but it is good. And then we have some pepperoncinis. These are just a pickled pepperoncini, and then corn relish. This stuff is amazing. Oh, I need to push it forward. And I did not do a video of these. This year I had a really bad cucumber harvest. I don't think I maybe got 1 or 2 cucumbers off of my own plants. So I bought some at the Amish. They had a huge box of them, and they were discounted, I think, to like, I want to say $5 for a huge box. So I made some pickles, and these pickles are the best pickles I have ever made. I am going to only pull these out on special occasions because we only have 8 and we eat through them very quickly, but they are delicious. And then I showed you the pineapple already. Then we have some dill pickle spears that I made a couple years ago. And then what is this? A1 sauce that we made together. And then this whole shelf here is beets. My beets did very well this year, so I canned a whole bunch of them, and they're amazing. I just literally for lunch sometimes, I just take a jar and heat it up and just eat that because I love beets. So kind of like how I do my pepperoncinis in a pickling brine, I just cut up some peppers and put them in the pickling brine also. And then the last shelf over here, we have chicken. This is a huge time saver. I know not a lot of people are fans of canned meat, but I tell you this stuff, you cannot tell, especially if you're using it in like tacos or enchiladas or a casserole. You can't tell that it was canned, and it is so easy to use. I love it. I always have canned chicken on hand. So I have this whole section is shredded chicken. And then these ones I just did recently when we processed our turkeys. This is just some canned turkey breasts. So I just cubed it up and put it in here. This will be amazing to put into soup or into a casserole. Or again, you can make tacos with this. And now we're down to the last shelf. This is another one of those grocery store shelves. If I'm not grinding the flour myself, I try not to eat gluten. So I have gluten-free pasta or pasta. These things are really, really good. These things I have in my kitchen pantry, so I just keep the extras up here. There's more cereal in here. This is where I keep all my extra powdered sugar. I have cocoa, some salt, popcorn, all of that stuff's up here. I completely forgot I even had this up here, which I'm glad I'm doing this now because now I see it. This is my favorite tea, and it is not available in the United States. So when I go to Canada, I like to stock up on it. It is a orange pekoe tea, and it is amazing. So I have a box in here, which I need to move into there because I don't have any in there. So glad I found that. It is a tea that we have available in Canada. Like if you go to Tim Hortons or something, you can usually get this tea. It's just a standard tea. I grew up drinking it and I love it. You know how the Southerners are very particular with their sweet tea? I think Canadians are also pretty particular with their tea, and this is my favorite tea. I'm also seeing what else is up there. Oh, I have some more Earl Grey tea up there. Also, my daughter loves it, so I bought a whole bunch for when she's here. These shelves right here are just all my overstock of my seasonings that I keep in my spice cabinet. I like to be stocked up on these things because I do everything from scratch. So I need to make sure that I never run out of any seasonings. So that's what those are. And then down here is just more overstock of seasonings. So that is it for my pantry. That is everything that we have on our pantry shelves. Again, I have a couple more projects that I have to get done, but that is pretty much what the pantry will be stocked with for the year. So that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope I gave you some ideas or maybe some inspiration on some new things that you've never canned before. I will try to link a majority of those videos that I have for the stuff that I canned in the video description, but again, canning playlist. Thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far, thank you so much. And I hope you guys have a great day or night whenever you're watching this, and I will see you on the next video. Bye guys.